Welcome students for the spectroscopy unit, and in this unit already you have studied in detail what is the Raman spectroscopy, and today we are going to discuss about the quantum theory of Raman effect. Before that, I would explain once again what is Raman spectroscopy. Here, Raman spectroscopy is quite different from the absorption spectroscopy because it studies the light scattered by a sample rather than light absorbed or emitted. In short, Raman spectroscopy it is the study of scattering of incident light by a matter. Then when a beam of monochromatic light is passed through solid, liquid, or gaseous substance, incident light is scattered. If the scattered light has the same frequency as that of incident light, then these these referred as a Rayleigh scattering or elastic scattering. That means in case of Rayleigh scattering, the frequency of incident radiation and the frequency of scattered radiation, these both are same. That means there is no loss of energy or gain of energy takes place in between the incident radiation and the scattered radiation. Such scattering it is called as Rayleigh scattering. Then, as already you are aware regarding the difference between Raman spectra and infrared spectroscopy. Here, the Raman spectroscopy it is due to the scattering of light by the vibrating molecules, and the infrared spectroscopy is due to the absorption of light radiation. Here, the vibration is Raman active if it causes a change in polarizability, and the polarizability it is nothing but when a diatomic molecule without permanent dipole moment it in that molecule induced dipole moment occurs. That means the separation of effective centers of positive charge and negative charge takes place, and it is called as induced dipole moment. And due to vibrations in the diatomic molecule, a polarizability occurs, and we get a all such molecules are Raman active. And in case of vibration, IR active only when there is a permanent dipole moment. The molecules without permanent dipole moment, they are IR inactive. Then the molecules need not possess a permanent dipole moment here, and here it is the basic requirement. The molecule must have a permanent dipole moment. Then in a Raman spectroscopy, water can be used as a solvent, and in IR spectroscopy, water cannot be used as a solvent. These are the differences between Raman spectroscopy and IR spectroscopy. Then the introduction regarding Raman spectroscopy. Here, the Raman spectroscopy was discovered by Dr. C.V. Raman in 1928. It is a spectroscopic technique used to observe a radiation, that means the vibrations and rotations and other low frequency modes in a system. Raman spectroscopy is commonly used in a chemistry to provide a fingerprint region by molecules. Due to this, we can identify a molecule. When radiation passes through the transparent medium, the present scattered a fraction of a beam in all directions. Here, the transparent medium, when light is irradiated through a transparent medium and when it is incident on a sample, the irradiated light radiation, it will get a scattered. Raman scattering results from the same type of quantities changed associated with IR spectra. The difference in wavelength between the incident radiation and scattered radiation, it corresponds to a Raman shift or Raman frequency. Then, when a monochromatic radiation is incident upon a sample, the light will interact with the sample in some fashion. It may be reabsorbed or scattered in some manner. It is the scattering of the radiation that occurs which gives information about the molecular structure. Again, all of you are very well known that Raman spectroscopy, it is based on scattering of the light radiation, and here a sample is irradiated with a lesser source, typically with a lesser source, and most of the radiation is elastically scattered, and that scattering is called as Rayleigh scattering. And elastically scattering means there is no loss or gain of energy in between the incident radiation and scattered radiation, and a small portion is inelastic scattered. That means the energy of a photon, it is given to the molecule, or the molecule's energy, it is taken up by the photon, and due to this we can have the Stokes lines and anti-Stokes lines. Here the emitted radiation is of three types: Stokes scattering, anti-Stokes scattering, and Rayleigh scattering. Here, Rayleigh scattering means there is no difference in between the frequency of incident radiation and the frequency of scattered radiation. Then the Stokes scattering means the intensity of the scattered radiation or energy of scattered radiation is less than the energy of incident radiation. And the opposite of this, the anti-Stokes radiation. That means the energy or frequency of scattered radiation, it is greater than the intensity of incident radiation. Thus, at a higher frequency region, we have anti-Stokes lines, and at a lower frequency region, we have Stokes lines. Then the instrumentation of Raman spectroscopy. Here, this is a laser source and it is kept at a right angle to the sample holder or sample cell, and the wavelength selector, it is kept at a right angle of the sample cell, and here it is a radiation transducer, and here it is a measuring device. Then the basic principle of Raman spectroscopy, there is a difference in the frequencies of the scattered light. That means when a light radiations incident on any sample, then we get a scattered lights with either greater frequency or less frequency. and this is called as the Raman shift or Raman spectroscopy. That means delta mu R, it is equal to delta mu I minus delta mu S, and this is the representation of Rayleigh scattering here, then Raman scattering, and here anti-Stokes lines and Stokes lines. This diagram clearly shows that the absorption of light, here it is blue light, and the emission of light, here it is a red light, and these two light radiations are with same frequency, and such lines in the Raman spectroscopy are called as Rayleigh scattering. Then the Stokes Raman scattering means the intensity of the absorbed radiation, it is greater than the frequency of the scattered radiation. These lines are termed as Stokes-Raman scattering, and when the frequency of incident radiation, it is less than the frequency of scattered radiation, such lines are called as anti-Stokes or Raman scattering, and these anti-Stokes lines we get at a higher frequency region, and the Stokes lines we get at a lower frequency region. Then the quantum theory of Raman scattering. Here this diagram shows a Rayleigh lines or Rayleigh scattering. Here we have the vibrational energy levels as phi is equal to 0, phi is equal to 1, phi is equal to 2, etc. And due to the absorption of photon, here having energy equal to h nu I, where nu I it is the frequency of incident radiation and h it is the Planck's constant, and due to absorption of photon from lower energy level, that means phi is equal to 1, that molecules they get jump to higher or any virtual excited state vibrational level, and due to the excess energy, that molecules they returns back to the ground state, and the energy of the scattered radiation, here it is h nu s, again h it is a Planck's constant and nu s it is the frequency of a scattered radiation, and there is a no net absorption or emission of light takes place, that means output it is equal to input, that is the energy of scattered radiation and energy of incident radiation, when these two are same, that means frequency of scattered radiation it is equal to frequency of incident radiation, that is mu s it is equal to mu I. Under such condition we get Rayleigh lines or Rayleigh scattering, and when mu s it is less than mu I we get Stokes lines, and when mu s is greater than mu I we get anti-Stokes lines. Here the mechanism of Raman spectrometers, that means when a substance in any state is irradiated with a monochromatic light radiation with the definite frequency, the light scattered at a right angle, and uh, the scattered light it may have the frequency as that of incidental frequency or incident radiation, and either It may be less or it may be greater. That means we have these two probabilities. Sometimes lines of higher frequency are also obtained, and these lines are called as Raman scattering or Stokes lines and anti-Stokes lines. Here, the lines with lower frequency are called as Stokes lines, and the lines with a higher frequency are called as anti-Stokes lines. The lines with the same frequency as that of incident light are called as Rayleigh lines in the Raman spectroscopy. Then the theory of Raman spectra. Here, two cases may arise depending upon whether a collision between photon and molecule in a ground state, either it is elastic or inelastic in nature. And elastic collision means there is no loss or gain when a photon interact with matter or molecule, and inelastic collision means there is interaction between energy of photon and energy of molecule, and if in case 1 the collision is elastic, that means this leads to appearance of unmodified lights. That means the Rayleigh scattering. There is no loss of frequency or energy in between molecule and photon takes place. And the second case, that means the inelastic collision. And here inelastic collision means there will be exchange or transfer of energy in between the scattered molecule and the incident photon. The frequency of scattered light and incident photon, which is either higher or lower than that of incident photon, and these are called as Raman frequency or Raman lines. Then the condition for Raman spectroscopy. Raman spectra occurs as a result of oscillation, and due to oscillation a induced dipole moment takes place in the diatomic molecule, and as the induced dipole moment is directly proportional to the polarizability, and polarizability, it is nothing but the separation of charges. Here the positive charge and negative charge, they get separated from each other, and the molecules are anisotropic, which should change during the rotation or vibration for vibrational or rotational Raman spectroscopy. And depending on this, we can have the vibrational Raman spectroscopy or rotational Raman spectroscopy. And those molecules which are inactive in IR, they becomes active in the Raman spectroscopy. And anisotropic, that is polarizability, depends upon the orientation of the molecules. In the presence of electric field, the electron cloud of the molecule, it get oriented in the direction of applied electric field. That means the molecule is distorted or polarized. And again here you have a block design of dispersive Raman scattering. As already I have told you, the radiation source it is used is always a laser, and the lasers are incident on a sample at 90 degree here, and the sample and the wavelength selector, it is again kept at a 90 degree, and here it is a detector, Then the revision of a Raman spectroscopy. Here, the incident radiation excites a virtual states or distorted or polarized states, and that persist for a short time, and that short time it is in the order of 10 raised to minus 14 seconds. And in elastic scattering of photon, when it is incident on electrons in a molecule. And Stokes lines, that means when inelastically scattered photon loses some of its energy to the molecule, we get a Stokes process, and it can be experimentally detected as a lower energy scattered photons. And opposite of this, the anti-Stokes lines, a photon can also gain energy from the molecule, and we get a anti-Stokes lines. That means the frequency of scattered photon is greater than the frequency of incident photon. And depending on the here pure rotational Raman spectra and